Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to discuss about Jackson cross cylinder or JCC. So start with the history. Jackson cross cylinder is an old optometric tool which is used in subjective refraction, mainly in cylindrical axis refinement. It is based on an earlier device proposed by Stokes in 1849. In 1887, Edward Jackson proposed using fixed powered stock lenses to determine the power of cylindrical lenses. After 2 decades later, Jackson discovered that the cross cylinder could also be used to discover the axis of the astigmatic correction. The Jackson cross cylinder is a combination of cylindrical lenses, which is spherical cylindrical lenses with a handle. The JCC combined two equal but opposite cylindrical lenses. Its spherical component is half that of the cylindrical component. For example, a JCC of plus minus 0.50 would be having a sphere of plus 0.50 and a cylinder of minus 1 diopter, which is double of the sphere and opposite in the sign. Spherical equivalent of both the component will be 0. Principal meridian of JCC are marked by red and black or red and white line. The handle of JCC bisects the principal axis by 45 degree. Most commonly available JCC are plus minus 0.25 diopter, plus minus 0.50 diopter and plus minus 1 diopter. And most commonly used JCC are plus minus 0.25 and plus minus 0.50. So basically JCC is based on Sturm's conoid. And what is Sturm's conoid? When light rays pass through an optical system which does not have similar curvature in two principal meridian, it causes rays to focus on two focal points rather than making a single focal point. Similarly, when light passes through an astigmatic eye, which is a toric surface, it causes the formation of two focal points. The distance between two focal points is known as the interval or conoid of the Sturm. The best image in this type of optical system is somewhere in the middle of the interval of Sturm, where there is an equal amount of convergence from one meridian and an equal amount of divergence from another meridian, known as the circle of least confusion, which gives compromised but best possible clearer image. So here's the example. If this is a toric surface, convergence of vertical meridian which have more power than horizontal meridian gave us a horizontal line. If you can see here, so the convergence of these lines giving us a horizontal line, and the horizontal line which I have donated with yellow color, when they converge due to less power, they gave us a vertical line. So these horizontal line and vertical line called as anterior focal plane and posterior focal plane, and in between them we had a circle of least confusion, and we need to bring this circle of least confusion on the retina by refraction and to collapse Sturm's conoid by bringing vertical line on horizontal line. Suppose this eye is a compound myopic astigmatic with the 4 diopter of spherical correction. So use a spherical lens to place circle of least confusion onto the retina. And for myopia use minus lens, and for hypermetropia use maximum plus lens. So in this picture, as you can see, we have placed the circle least confusion onto the retina. So now what we have to do, we have to align the JCC in front of the patient eye. Either it is going to increase the interval of Sturm or decrease it. When the interval of Sturm increases, the circle of least confusion becomes larger and the patient report blur. If the interval of Sturm decreases, the circle of least confusion becomes smaller and patient report clearer. Uses of Jackson cross cylinder included the refinement of astigmatic axis and the refinement of astigmatic power, and to detect astigmatic axis and power in absence of other tests. So how the JCC work? Let's see. First we have to define the axis of a cylinder lens, because with the wrong axis we cannot define the power, but with the wrong power we can define the axis. So we can define the axis by placing the axis of JCC halfway between the axis of the correcting cylinder at an angle of 45 degree, and this is easier to do when you just align the handle of the JCC with the axis of correcting cylinder, and then handle is flipped over the correcting lens so that the aforementioned orientation is kept. The patient is asked which side is clearer. The axis of the correcting cylinder is then rotated toward the red mark if you put the minus lens, and toward the green mark if you put the plus lens. This process is repeated until patient report no difference in the clarity of the chart or when there is a reversal. In the scenario where there is no prior astigmatic correction of the eye, the JCC is presented at arbitrary angles such as 90 or 180 degree. If the patient prefers a flip position, one can then add a cylinder parallel to the respective axis chosen as the reference point. If at 90-180 degree there is no preference for any of the position, then the lens can be presented at 135-45 degrees and same process is repeated. In next step, we have to define the power of the cylindrical. The refinement of the cylindrical power is done by placing the Jackson cross cylinder over the corrective lens. The axis of the JCC is said to be parallel to the axis of the corrective lens in trial frame. Then the handle is flipped so that the two sides in the JCC swaps position with each 180 degree rotation. If the patient reports no change in the vision, it is safe to say that the power of the cylindrical need no refining. Thus, the procedure can be end here. If the patient reports clarity when the red mark is over the corrective lens, then one should increase the cylindrical by 0.25 diopter. And if patient report clarity when the black or green mark over the corrective lens, the one should reduce cylinder by 0.25 diopter. The process is repeated until patient reports no difference in the clarity of the chart or when there is a reversal. When using this method, one should remember that for every 0.50 diopter change in the cylinder, it is important to add 0.25 to the sphere to keep the circle of least confusion on the retina. This was the detailed video on Jackson cross cylinder. I hope you got the concept. For more query, please comment down and do not forget to subscribe, like and share.